So, NBA analyst Brian Windhorst has provided a huge LeBron James update as far as free agency is concerned. On the Stein line, he said, and I quote, "I've talked to people in Philly, and I'm like, what do you think?" And they're like, "We're afraid it's Cleveland." Everybody I've talked to has said, "We're afraid it's Cleveland." Nobody seems like they have optimism. So basically, Brian Windhorst is saying that it's looking like, or from at least from the people that he's talking to, it's looking like that all NBA teams are pretty much like coming to a consensus that it's probably going to be back to Cleveland for LeBron. And to quote my boy ISO Joe Johnson, man, off Nightcap, shout out to Nightcap and Joe Johnson, man. I just got to go ahead and say it. I ain't gonna lie to you to make it sound fly to you, even as a LeBron James fan myself. I'm not gonna lie. Cleveland, nothing against Cleveland for this. Nothing against them. But LeBron James said, going into this season of his career, we talked about it earlier on the show. He said the most important thing is his chance for competing and trying to win a championship at this stage of his career. He wants to actually compete for a championship at this point of his career. That's what he said he wants to do. Okay. Just being honest with you. I get it, but nah. Cleveland, nope. Listen, no offense to Cleveland, but Cleveland ain't it. Cleveland ain't it. Cleveland ain't it. And like I said, nothing against Cleveland. I have nothing against the Cavs. I have nothing against Donovan Mitchell. We just talked about Donovan Mitchell yesterday. I have nothing against Harden. I think they are great players. I have nothing against Mobley. I have nothing against any of the Cavs players or any of that. I have nothing against any Cavs players or anything. It's just Cleveland isn't it, in my personal opinion. Now maybe LeBron knows something that I don't. Yeah, and I don't even know if he's even really considering going to Cleveland, because it didn't say LeBron is pretty much coming to the conclusion he's going to go back to Cleveland. He's just saying that's what NBA teams think, and I get it, like why NBA teams think, okay, well he'll end it off with the team he started with, and I even said that I thought he would do that. Like before, like even being on the Lakers, I thought that he'd ultimately probably go back to Cleveland, but now that LeBron has put the, I guess you would say, option, put like that, to compete, that he, or at least the segue that he wants to compete like in this last season or potential last season of his career. Now that he's put that out there, Cleveland is not, as much as I'm a LeBron fan and as much as I get it, Cleveland is not the spot. Like I said, shout out to my boy ISO Joe Johnson, man. I'm not going to lie to you to make it sound fly to you. Cleveland is not the spot. It's not. And there's nothing against anybody in Cleveland, but there are so many other teams that would love to have LeBron James that gives him so much of a better chance, in my personal opinion, to compete. I'm sorry, but they just do. So, and like I said, if LeBron didn't care, like if LeBron was like, you know what, I just want my farewell tour. I don't even care about competing. I'm just going to have my farewell tour. Absolutely. Go 100% go back to Cleveland. If that was the case, 100% go back to Cleveland. End it off in Cleveland where you started at, had that farewell tour. Every city you go in, it's like a celebration. 100%, 1,000%. If that was what LeBron wanted, I would 1,000% agree with this decision. Yes, go back to Cleveland, 100%. But the fact that he wants to compete, no. Cleveland has not done enough, in my personal opinion. While they have done the necessary things they had to do to retain Donovan Mitchell, and rightfully so, because Donovan Mitchell deserved that payday. But they haven't done enough, in my personal opinion, to where you would look at them and say that they can compete for a championship at this stage. Like when you look at their team, nothing about their team screams like that they can get to the finals. Nothing. I'm sorry, but it doesn't. As much as I love Donovan Mitchell, I love James Harden, I love Mobley, I love Jared Allen, I love all these players have great talent, and Cleveland is a good team. They're good, but they're not competing for a title worthy. They're not. And maybe that can change. And it can with a couple pieces moving around here or there. It can change. But right now, as we speak, as LeBron is making his decision, and Rich Paul, LeBron's agent, said he doesn't expect Bron to make a decision anytime soon. But like, I'm just speaking as far as in this timeline to where he would make a decision. Cleveland ain't it, bro. It ain't it. I would rank. Honestly, I would rank a whole lot of teams over Cleveland to probably get back or compete for a title over Cleveland. And the teams that I would rank over them to, like, if LeBron actually was thinking about, like I said, competing for a title, going to a team that actually can compete for something, compete for a title. These are the teams that I would look at if I was LeBron. I get it. I get Cleveland, but they're just going to pitch you nostalgia. And granted, you can't have a Dwayne Wade kind of connection with Donovan Mitchell because Dwayne Wade was Donovan Mitchell's kind of mentor. So you can kind of hopefully have that D Wade LeBron connection with you and Donovan Mitchell. But other than that, these are the teams that I would say like actually can compete and actually would be rightfully places to compete for a title at, in my personal opinion. The Philadelphia 76ers, yes. If you go to the 76ers 100%, I think that'd be a great decision as far as trying to compete for a title. I do. Surprisingly, if you go to the Golden State Warriors, the idea of them getting LeBron and Steph Curry on the same team, adding some, which still Draymond is still there. You get a couple, and once again, they aren't the best, but if you get LeBron James there with Steph Curry and that whole dynamic is there, I feel like if they can maybe get some more depth pieces, I think that they could be a problem. I do. But the Warriors, not as much as the Sixers, but the Warriors. If you go to the Knicks, once again, they've given you good reason to believe in them. They just won the title. You go to the Knicks. You go to the Spurs. The Spurs have given you good reason to believe in them. They just went to the finals. Who else? The Spurs would be a good team to go to. I've heard the idea of OKC. I mean, and just being honest, OKC has given you good reason to believe in them. Western Conference Finals appearances, and I'm sorry, finals win, and then Western Conference Finals in the past year. So they've given you good reason to believe in them. The Miami Heat, they got Giannis and Bam. So I mean, Bron could be that final piece. I think they need a point guard, but he could be that final piece. As far as like competing for a title, I think those would be the places. I do. Miami. What did I say? Make sure I got these right. Okay. Miami, Philly. Dang, I forgot. I forgot the teams that fast. Oh, Golden State. OKC potentially. The Spurs. Those are 5. And the lowest like probably winning percentage chance on those, like on that wheel of 5 I just named off, would probably be the Warriors, because they haven't given you any reason to believe like they would actually be able to contend for a title. However, the idea of putting LeBron James with Steph Curry could definitely put them in that range, but the lowest ranked team would probably be the Warriors out of that bunch. But the rest of those 4 teams, all of them I feel like can compete for a title, especially over Cleveland. Miami, they got Giannis and Bam. OKC, they just went to the Western Conference Finals. The Spurs just went to the finals, and I'm just saying, and they were in pretty much every single game with the Knicks. They didn't win them, but they were in every game with the Knicks and made it to the finals and shocked OKC. Going to the Knicks, they just went to the finals. Going to like it's so many other teams I feel like that would just be better. Philly, they just got Jaylen Brown. So now they got Jaylen Brown, Embiid. Like, come on now. It's just Tyrese Maxey. Like, it's so many other teams, in my opinion, that fit the contending picture over Cleveland. And I really do Here's what I don't want people to think. I don't want people to think that I'm bashing Cleveland, because I'm not. I 1,000% understand why LeBron potentially is considering going back to Cleveland. I do. However, the point here is competing for a title. That's the point. So if we're competing for a title, let's, die down in nostalgia and just look at what it is. Cleveland, like I said, Cleveland has great players. Donovan Mitchell is great. Harden is still great. I love Mobley. I love Jared Allen. They have great players. They do. And granted, they just made it to the playoffs and went against the New York Knicks. So they have done things. I just don't feel like that they will be like the team that LeBron can go to, where LeBron, because put you guys in this mindset. This is what my idea of what LeBron said. This is the idea of what I made it out to be. LeBron wants to be in a position to where he can go to a team and be comfortable saying, we can compete for a NBA championship, right? Other than Golden State, the rest of those 4 teams I named have great reason for him to be comfortable saying that. The Knicks, they just won the NBA title and really haven't lost a lot of pieces, so he can be comfortable saying that. OKC, they just went to the Western Conference Finals and got to the NBA Finals the year before that. He can be comfortable saying that. They haven't lost a lot of pieces. Where else did I say? The Philadelphia 76ers, they just added Jaylen Brown to Joel Embiid, VJ, Tyrese Maxey. The list goes on. He has good reason to be comfortable saying that they can compete for a title. And so it's so many other. Miami, they just got Giannis to pair with Bam Adebayo. They have good reason for LeBron to be comfortable saying that we can compete for a title. Over Cleveland, who their reason for you to be comfortable competing for a title is, let's be real, we got Donovan Mitchell. I'm just as bad as that sounds. I don't want it to sound like that because I love Donovan Mitchell. But the pitch to LeBron is, we got Donovan Mitchell. They're in the same. Once again, they're in the same. People talk about the Warriors wouldn't be a good place for LeBron to go because they're older and they don't have talent. I mean, what does Cleveland really have, really appease to LeBron over the Warriors? Okay, you can play with Donovan Mitchell, pause. All right, you go to the Warriors, you can be teammates with Steph Curry like you always have wanted to do. Steph Curry and LeBron have been vocal about wanting to be teammates with each other, like on a real season, NBA season, like through the course of the season team. Like, they don't want to be, they've been all-star teammates and Team USA teammates a couple times, but they want to be like real deal teammates, like going to the facility every day, practicing together, like on a real team. You play with Donovan Mitchell, pause. You can be teammates with Donovan Mitchell, or you can do like you've always wanted to do and be teammates with Steph Curry. Ain't nothing different. But at least, I'm just saying, at least the Warriors can say they have the pedigree to win a title because the championship mentality is still there. You still got Draymond, so you still got the championship, like defensive pedigree. Like, you still have all the players who knows what it feels like to win a championship there. You still got Draymond. You still got Curry, who's out of this world. You still got Steve Kerr. Okay, so now at least the championship mentality is still there. The championship pedigree is still there. They know what it takes to get it done. And dare I say, which this is pretty much obvious, but just calling a spade, Who do you think LeBron can relate to more? Younger players like, no offense, but younger players like Donovan Mitchell, and I know James Harden is older, but players like James Harden and Donovan Mitchell, or you think he can maybe get along better with, I don't know, his business partner in Draymond Green and the person who he's always wanted to be teammates with in Steph Curry, and they're already friends anyway. Who do you think he can get along better with? So I'm just, if that's Cleveland's pitch, like, okay, end off your career where you started. You get to play with Donovan Mitchell and James Harden. I mean, okay, like, the point is competing for a title. So if that's the point, I guess I'm not understanding why Cleveland would be the spot. And like I said, unless LeBron knows something I don't. Maybe LeBron is like, if he does go back to Cleveland, maybe LeBron has given them like some time to like work something out. Like, he'll say like, okay, yeah, I'll come back to Cleveland, but y'all got to do something. Y'all got to make these things fall into place. And then Cleveland has some time to go focus and like bring in some pieces and actually make a better looking team, like around Donovan Mitchell and LeBron and Harden, and Mobley and people like that, to actually make a better looking team. Maybe that's what LeBron will tell them. Like, listen, I'll come back to Cleveland, but y'all got to make something happen to where, the team looks better or make some pieces fall into place. If that's the case, then maybe. But if we're just going like, which I think it will be, I think like LeBron is just waiting to like, when he makes his decision, he wants to see the format of the team is already laid out so he can know, okay, where he can fit Pauls, where he can like, play his part in, like where he can, okay, the team is already together. I know I can play a perfect role doing this. That's what I feel like LeBron is waiting to do, like is waiting for the NBA to shape up like that. So if that's the case, I don't see why Cleveland would be the spot as far as competing for a title. I don't. Like, if this was just a farewell tour, 100%. 1,000%. I would say go ahead. If this was a farewell tour situation, as a LeBron fan, I would have said go ahead and sign earlier. Go ahead and sign with Cleveland earlier so it can be a great farewell tour and you can, get all the cities ready and get a farewell season ready and everything like that. 100%. Cleveland is the perfect place to have a farewell tour because you started your career there. You managed to win a championship. Obviously, that's a team accomplishment, but you were a part of the team that managed to bring a championship back to Cleveland. Excuse me. So, like, that energy is there. You started your career there. You kind of raised the popularity of the team just with you gracing the jersey of it. So, the history of it, the nostalgia of it would be there if it was just a farewell tour. The one reason why I'm saying don't go to Cleveland is because it's not that. LeBron strictly said, I don't want a farewell tour. I don't want a year to where it's just like, oh, whatever happens, happens. He don't want a year like that. So for that to be the case, I wouldn't recommend you to go sign with Cleveland. I would recommend, like I said, probably at least you can even take Golden State out because people may say, oh, they're old or they haven't won in a while or they haven't given any reason to win. Okay, you can take Golden State out. Cool. You still got 4 other teams that I think have a better chance to win over Cleveland this year. No offense to Cleveland, but they've given more reason to believe in them over Cleveland has this offseason. I'm just being real with you. And those teams are, once again, the New York Knicks, they just won a title. OKC Thunder, they just went to the Western Conference Finals and won a title the year before that. The Spurs, they just were in the finals. And the Philadelphia 76ers, and I'm sorry, it's actually 5. The Philadelphia 76ers, they just landed Jaylen Brown to add to VJ, Joel Embiid, and Tyrese Maxey. And then the last team, the Miami Heat, they just got Giannis Antetokounmpo to pair with Bam Adebayo. And to be honest with you, Miami got a better chance of playing a nostalgia card with Bron than Cleveland, in my personal opinion, as far as competing for a title. Because, let's be real, LeBron go to Miami or Cleveland, they'd be like, yeah, you want some, we got the nostalgia factor. We got, you can finish out your career playing with Donovan Mitchell and James Harden. That's cool, but Miami got Giannis they can throw at LeBron. And no offense, but that sounds a lot more intriguing than going back to Cleveland. I'm just being honest. Miami has that nostalgia factor too. They can say, oh, well, you played here. You want to finish out your career on a team you already played for. We got Giannis Antetokounmpo pairing with Bam Adebayo with you, LeBron James. Like, what? You got LeBron, Giannis, and Bam on one team. That's crazy. And they have nostalgia factor too. He played there before. Won 2 titles with them. So they have that factor they can play too. So it's not just the nostalgia, I feel like, that's going to persuade LeBron to go to Cleveland. Once again, he's also focused on competing for a title. And to focus on that, I feel like you have to be willing to offer more to LeBron than just nostalgia and playing with a great player. Because don't get me wrong, Harden is still good at this point of his career. Mobley is nice, of course. Jared Allen is cool. I love Cleveland as a team. I do. But the only, let's be real, the only, guy on Cleveland is Donovan Mitchell. So you're going to go play with one star. And I'm just being honest. You're going to go play with one star in a situation where they're just offering you pretty much nostalgia, because I kind of put Cleveland and Golden State probably on the same terms, honestly. Like, people say, oh, well, why is LeBron even considering going to Golden State? What they got to offer? Well, I mean, just being honest, what do Cleveland got to offer? You're playing with Donovan Mitchell, and I know I've said this a couple times, sound like broken record player, but this is what it is. They got Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, James Harden. And Donovan Mitchell is pretty much the only guy, right? The only thing Cleveland has over Golden State is probably more good supporting cast players. They don't have a Mobley. They don't have Evan Mobley. They don't. Golden State just has Curry and Draymond. And Draymond probably at this stage of his career isn't at that point to where you would put him on the level of a Mobley, right? As far as being as valuable, or as far as offense and stuff like that. So if that's the case, they don't really have a center like Jared Allen. So you would give Cleveland the advantage as far as supporting cast players, right? But as far as stars, okay, Cleveland got Donovan Mitchell, Golden State got Steph Curry. So which star do you want to play with? Pause. I'm just being honest. But we're going to see what happens, though, man. If it is Cleveland, it's going to be interesting to see how it shapes up. I just believe there are a lot of other teams that could give LeBron a much better chance to compete over Cleveland. And it's no offense to Cleveland. Once again, it's just I feel like so many other teams can give him a better chance to compete over going back to Cleveland. I do. But maybe, like I said, maybe LeBron knows something I don't. Maybe if he go back to Cleveland, he'll make him pull some strings and make the team get together and get right, and so the team will look more championship competing worthy, if you will. So we're going to see what happens, though, man. But that's the latest update. We're going to see what happens. Everybody is still on LeBron watch. The decision part 3, the final destiny, man, is live and in effect for sure.